Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. We are so lucky today to have the one and only Anna Kelly with us for a fourth interview and discussion. How you doing, Anna?
I'm doing very well. So good to be here.
Thank you very much for doing this. This was a topic I was hoping to sneak in, and I'm glad we have time for it. You ready?
I'm ready.
So I believe there's a very good chance that residential real estate transactions fall in two key parts of the market. Let me explain. First and foremost, I think refinances of residential properties will likely fall very soon in excess of 75%. It was just reported this morning by Mortgage Bankers Association. They're already down 54% year on year. I think that continues to grow ultimately to 75%. And you and I both know that means less money sloshing around in the system.
Yes.
The second one, I don't think anybody is talking about. I believe the sale of the move-up buyer, the first-time homeowner, even the move-up buyer going luxury, I think there's a very good chance for the next 3 or 4 years because I think rates are going to be rising for that time. They're slowly rising, but rising nonetheless. I think real estate transactions, which last year were 6.14, when you added new homes, they were 6.9, could fall a million, million and a half, maybe 2 million units because people will just stay put. Or they'll keep it and rent it, or one rental at a time, right? You move in, it becomes a rental, you go somewhere else. So I think there's two things that nobody's talking about. Refinances are going to fall 75% and transactions are going to fall 20%. And this just means we may need to get used to low inventory, which today feels crazy, but maybe that's the future. We just can, we continually have low inventory because the move up buyer is stuck.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think that could be a real issue. Just to put it in perspective, I bought my house in September of 2020. So it's been a little over about a year and a half, 2.6% interest rate, 2.6. The average 30-year fixed yesterday, I think it was 4.03 with 0.4 in points.
Yeah.
And so, that's a huge difference already, 1.4% difference in a year and a half. If you go up another 2%, investors, those who can afford a home in that range are probably going to go, you know what, my house is nice enough. I'm good enough. Unless I have to relocate, they probably stay put. They remodel their home and they don't try to lock in a rate that's significantly higher than what they already have. So they just don't move. And that, to your point, reduces inventory. So it reduces supply. The rates, kind of reduce demand and you have, more of an equilibrium, but you're still going to have, I think, a seller's market if you don't have a lot of supply.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. So I have a lot of real estate agents, real estate brokers, mortgage brokers follow the channel, obviously. And I think some lean times are ahead. So these are times to, get on your game, market, really maybe try to find investors. Because again, I think a lot of real estate agents that I've worked with, they help people get in their first home, then they keep sending them Christmas cards because they want to get the move up in 4, 5, 6 years. I think that I really do. I really start to think real estate transactions fall 10 to 20% for 2 or 3 years. And I think there's a lot of people that aren't ready for it. There's a lot of commission that won't be paid. There's a lot of, mortgage fees that won't be earned. And, But
that's already starting to happen, Michael. It's already starting to happen because of the limited supply. So you've got, all these poor buyers agents who bring their clients in and they're outbid on house after house after house. They're doing all this work and not getting paid until, they've done 3 or 4 times the work to find somebody. So I think you start to see some realtors drop out of the market that weren't, that weren't already really, really strong. And, that limited supply and interest rates together is really going to cool things off. I don't know that you have reduction in prices, though, too much because of the lack of supply, at least in a lot of markets. But it's going to take a couple years for in areas, at least where a lot of people are moving, for building to catch up, to allow more supply to come in. And right now, with inflation, costs of everything up and interest rates going up, getting a construction loan and builders being incentivized to build without, a ton of ability to raise those prices really could slow down construction as well. And it could be a few years before you really reach equilibrium of supply and demand.
Yeah, I really do think there's going to be less people wanting to sell the move up buyer. There will be more and more people that follow one rental at a time, where they buy one, keep it, buy another one, move on. Wall Street build for rent. I'm hearing more and more about that. I think it was Pulte Homes, or maybe it was Beazer Homes, one of those that just said that more and more percentage of their build is going build for rent.
Right.
I think there's going to be less transactions, and unfortunately, less transactions does not mean lower price. It just doesn't.
Right.
Those are not connected things. In fact, they could be reversed, right? Less transactions means higher price, because, hey, you'll sell, but you'll sell at some premium number.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I don't think there's going to be this mass wave of foreclosures either. A lot of people think that that's going to happen, but people got their loans at low interest rates. So even if they've had forbearances, the government's trying to get these lenders to work out with them. And if they're in a low rate, and they were to, in 2008, people walked away because they were underwater and rates dropped. So they were in high interest rate mortgages and rates dropped. So they could just walk away and buy something cheaper. Now you've got kind of the opposite, where rates are going up, and it might be better to just get caught up on your mortgage, not let it go and go try to find something more expensive. So I think supply is a real issue for a while, especially if rates go up, 1%, 1.5%, 2%.
Yeah. What I would tell folks, if you're looking to buy your owner occupied home, it's not, I don't have good news for you. I think it maybe get a little better in the summer. As we get back to a more traditional market where people move in the summer, because life still happens. You still get transfers, you still have divorces, you still have health issues, but there's just a lot of that. I don't know what, I wonder if the numbers have to be out there, right? In 6.1 million homes, what percent of those were move up buyers? I bet you it's 25, 30%, which would be 1.8 million. If that gets cut in half, that's a million homes that don't go anywhere. So
Right. The other thing that I see, happening, and we've already heard rumblings of it, and I actually saw that the program was here on the non-QM commercial side, but now it's backed away, is the 40-year mortgage. So if rates go up and it becomes unaffordable, and even prices come up, and lenders come out with first-time home buyer, 40-year mortgages, those homes in that kind of first-time home buyer price range, those median priced homes in your area, they'll keep trading. But the ones that are, more expensive is where you're going to have the slowdown.
Yeah. Never boring. Lots of stuff going on. And this reversion in the interest rate, the cost of money, as Jason Hartman says, is something we haven't experienced for 40 years. So we're learning together. So
yes.
Lots and lots of fun. Anna, how can people find you?
Great. You can find me here every week. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Anna Kelly, REI Mom. And if you're an accredited investor and interested in multifamily investing syndications, you can follow me at greaterpurposecapital.com.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you, Michael.